basically what 3-play does. Its job is instant replays like you see on football games. It's daunting when you're learning it, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty simple. You don't actually control what goes to the board. That's an entire person for that, but you give the output, and basically you're getting feeds from all of the cameras. Whenever something notable is about to happen or a play's about to start, the whole thing's recording, but you set an in point and then an out point after the play's done. And if anything notable happened, you can go through and restart that section that you cut out and then hit play and then slow it down while your crossfire person is taking it live to the board. So I myself am not controlling what goes up to the board. I'm just controlling what output I'm giving. And so it's important to know what mode you're in whenever you're replaying something or recording something. And it's important to remember to go back to live footage so that you don't miss a play. Because if you have one recording playing, you might think that it's live if you're not paying close attention. It helps to know a little about football because the whole thing runs smoother when the director doesn't have to tell you that was replay worthy. If you're prepared after everything notable that happens, it'll be a lot smoother and easier for everyone there. My only advice would be pay attention and stay focused. There's going to be a lot of distractions. You don't have to wear a mic, but some people do that run 3-play, probably to talk to your director who has a bunch of voices in his head, and you'll probably be hearing these people as well. And it's easy to get distracted when you're up there with your friends, but it needs to be professional in there. And it's very easy to miss a play because in UIL football, they don't wait for anything. They don't wait for you to get ready or to play commercials, so you have to be on it. And oftentimes, your director might be distracted with something, and it's helpful if the 3-play person already has everything prepared and can say, do you want me to do this? That's the only advice I have.
So, the 3-play system is as easy as 1, 2, 3, honestly. It's basically, you record the plays that are being played on the field, and you record the football players, and you're in charge of starting the play and stopping the play on the board. In which case, if there's a touchdown scored or a great play, you can rewind it and replay slow it down, speed it up. That would be your job as a 3-play instructor person. If you find a great play or if there's a touchdown that was recently scored and you have the replay down, you would ask the director specifically, can I replay this? I have one ready. In which case the director would either say, yes, there's time, or no, there's not time. And if there is time, you would replay and slow it down or speed it up at your own pace. When you're up there in the booth working the 3-play system, you're alongside the crossfire person, whoever's working the crossfire, the producer, and the director. And when you're there, you have to really have a professional attitude about what you're doing. I mean, it's fine to joke around about some things, but you really have to get to work and you really have to get what you're in charge of down. It's a big time commitment, so I would suggest that just have your Thursdays or Fridays free because it's from, I think, 4:30 or 5:30 till like 10 o'clock. It's hard at first, but it definitely gets easier as you get more experience with it. And I guess overall, I mean, it's a lot of fun doing it. And you work with some great people, and I think doing this 3-play system or doing the crossfire or being the director can really benefit you further on down the line. The overall outcome and quality of the way that the thing is run is very dependent on the way that you or the director and the crossfire is working and acting, because you have to act very professional to get a professional result. A few words of wisdom, I guess, that I would have for incoming people that are working these, specifically 3-play, is you have to be on your guard. You have to be ready because you're constantly starting the play, stopping the play, starting the play, stopping the play. You have to be ready for the director, and you have to tell them, okay, this is ready. You have to be on top of things. You cannot wait for the director to ask you if you have one ready. You have to have one ready, always be on top of things, be professional, and I guess overall, have fun.
I'm in charge of camera 1, which is the big camera that gets the really, really wide shots of everybody. And during the game, I'm in charge of zooming in on the specific plays and whatnot and kind of getting that general idea of what's going on with the football play. This is the punts, the returns, the touchdowns, the field goals, the everything. Big funsies for everybody because when everybody screws up, they cut to my camera because mine looks nice. You're able to constantly be zooming in and out of shots, zooming in on people running, zooming in on people getting tackled, zooming on people, crying at celebration that they won, crying that they lost super hard, and that kind of stuff. Something that I wish I learned early on was proper white balance and proper color correction, because what you're going to learn while shooting is that you're basically in charge of all of that. And you really learn really fast how to properly do that, how to make the shot actually look prettier, because it already looks kind of nice, and it's making it actually look like a professional shot. Headset's really fun because you're able to tell kids that are so crazy far away from you to get this shot, get that shot, don't get this shot, don't get that shot. It's really interesting because you're able to really kind of connect with everybody that's talking and running around with these cameras and really kind of organize everything that's going down, which is really fun for the director and really fun for everybody involved. My one piece of advice would be to have fun while doing well. There's this really interesting kind of dance between goofing off and just not really paying attention, or being super hardcore, be serious, no fun at all. And it needs to be fun in order for everybody to enjoy it. So have the motivation to do well, make good shots, but also have the motivation to have fun and goof off just a little bit. Goof off professionally.
I'm the sideline camera guy at this Keller Stadium. I film just about every game that runs through here, whether track or football. And I just capture replays and live action footage. And Mr. Eisen has been nice enough to let me join along, especially with the other high schools involved. Whenever I film a game, I have an assistant with me. And the assistant is always there to pull me away from any oncoming collision that might happen. It could be a football player or a track runner, anyone. Most of the time when you're filming, you are paying attention to what you are filming. And because of that, you're not always aware of everything else that's around you. And because of that, some football player that's kind of running in a different route that you don't see could accidentally run into you. And that's why the assistant's there to help you notice that the person is over there and pull you back so you don't have a collision. Communication can be difficult at times because the signal isn't always good, but for the most part, it's really easy to communicate and the voices are pretty clear. You just press a button and talk, and then you release the button to listen. Sometimes the signal cuts in and out a few times, but for the most part, I get all the message. And it's just mainly getting everyone in position and getting the right shot at the right time. Obstacles, really, they get in the way when you try to look for good angles, but most of them are usually blocked off by anything. It could be a tall person, one of those sideline flags, someone with a hat, and they're not always aware that you're there, and so they'll just step in front of you, and not that they're rude, but they just don't know you're there. And then they just happen to get right in front of the camera. My one piece of advice for the people next year would be, if you do get the chance to actually come up here and film any type of game or event, you must have the talent in place. It's not as easy as just walking in and picking up a camera. I mean, you have to know the technicalities of it. This is not an easy walk-in job. You can't just pick up the camera and just start. You actually have to know how to film ahead of time and plan ahead.
I am the end zone camera operator at Keller ISD Stadium. My biggest problem is the referees are always getting in the middle of the shot. We constantly have to move the camera around to be able to get around the referees to be able to see. The most difficult part is the connection. If you get too close to the stands or too close to the field goal, it's very difficult because the connection goes out. Then you have to reconnect, and it takes forever. During halftime, we end up having to switch sides to follow the action, and it's really difficult to get the connection to reconnect, but it works out in the end, and you'll be fine. Never leave your gear unattended. It is very tempting for some people to steal, so always keep your eye or a limb on it at all times, or else you will get in trouble, so be careful. Another hard part is following the action and understanding the game so that you're not confused while recording, and being able to keep the camera on the ball at all times or in the middle of the action at all times. The funnest part is the interaction with the football players whenever they do a touchdown or something. It's like once or twice they run up to the camera. There's really not much to it. It's way easier than following the action from the sideline because you're stationary and you don't have to move. One piece of advice that I would give would be to stay focused, treat it professionally. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something like this, so be happy.
Crossfire is pretty much our switcher. Since we don't have one, it serves as our switcher. The keyboard is programmed, so whenever we push the buttons, that it'll go up on the board. When I first get to the stadium, I take the big rundown sheet that we have, and I get a piece of paper and I write down first quarter, second quarter, so on, and then halftime. And then I write down each commercial that we have in order, and then I put the amount of time that the commercial goes on for to the right of it, and then after I finish that sheet, in the Crossfire system in the computer, I put them in the right order. That way, whenever we get to that quarter, that they're in the right order and I don't have to worry about accidentally clicking the wrong one. And then whenever we play the commercials, whenever there's free time, the director will tell me that I need to play a commercial, and then the producer will tell the people downstairs that we're playing it on the walkie-talkie.
We're gonna run a commercial.
And then we put it up on the board, and then we cross it off, and then we just move on to the next one. And we hopefully get through all the commercials in the time allowed. If I had any advice for you guys, it would be to enjoy every minute that you're there at the stadium, because when you're there, it gets really stressful and you'll be fighting with the people that you're with, and you'll also be goofing around with the people that you're with, and you just want to treat it in a very professional manner because it's an amazing opportunity that you guys get to have at such a young age, and you need to treat it as such.
Basically, as the director, I watch the game and I pick which camera angle I want, whether it be sideline, end zone, or balcony, and I ask the Crossfire person to take that camera angle.
You have to be on your toes the entire time. I mean, from looking at the cameras, making sure the shots are okay, make sure that they're not shaky or jittery or any of that sense, make sure connections between your wireless cameras are okay. And basically, just have fun with it, because once everything's working and everything's great, it's a fun experience. I mean, you're laughing, you're talking about the game, and if your football team's good, everything's all right.
3-play is basically replay. What I do is I ask if the 3-play person has something they want to replay. I say, hit me. Take my left hand, they hit me, and I hit the Crossfire, and then we take it and it goes on the Jumbotron. Cameramen are the most essential part of doing this, because if we didn't have them, then we wouldn't have anything on the Jumbotron.
There is one thing you guys should know is don't stress about anything. If you mess up, it's okay. It's your first time, most likely, and you just learn from it and you continue. You just get through with it. You just make it work.
If there was a single thing that I could take away from doing this year, it was that you needed to stay very calm and kept together so that you didn't stress out yourself along with everyone else that you're working around, and to have fun with it.